The Braves managed to salvage the series versus the Giants in a 4-game set coming up with the Diamondbacks. Let's get right into it. Well, the Braves finished their series against the Giants today. Quite disappointing, 1-2. You most likely you should have gone 2-1 because after Friday you felt like you were in a good position. However, as the game went on, the Darno 3-run home run, you had it, and it kind of Will Smith happened, and you had another blown save, which caused you to go to the extras. Where the Braves are just such an abysmal team, and there's no hitting. I think I read something where they're like 7 for their last 45 or whatever in extra innings. And that's just unacceptable because they don't know how to play ABC baseball. But once again, it just comes back to Will Smith blowing another lead. And yeah, so we're following along with that Phillies game right now. Hopefully, the Phillies or the Mets don't pull a Will Smith and blow that game, but who knows? It's the Mets. And then on Saturday, you're going in and you hope, Darno with the clutch hit, maybe the offense will come alive, and they just don't. They recorded 5 hits, and they just look uninterested to be there, and it was not a beneficial game, and they lost 2-0. They wasted quality. Not a technically quality start, but a good enough start from Morton, 5 innings, 2 runs. And it's disappointing to lose games like those, especially because you're the Braves and you're supposed to be scoring 4 or 5 runs a game because you have an offense that is supposed to be able to do that. But the 2-run RBI single, kind of just you can't make up with that because you don't have enough run support, and it really ends up costing the game. However, today, major bright spot, the offense finally wakes up. What's up, King? And you end up getting the Rosario cycle, which was a great thing because it was so interesting because Freddie Freeman had the 2 most recent cycles, one in 2015 and then one in earlier this year in June, I believe. And say 5 years between a cycle, and then you go 2 months between one, which is kind of wild to think about that it would be so short. But Rosario had the hit for the cycle, which was a huge boost to the offense. Duvall hit another home run, which is great to see. I always, whenever he hits one, I always like to tweet out Duvall over Duval. Funny little joke there. But you get that, and then you get like I said, the Rosario cycle. Riley hits a double that really sets you up, and then you have Luke Jackson. The bullpen comes in, looks elite. Max Fried shoves. He throws 7 innings and scoreless, I believe 4-5 hits. Yeah, Duvall over Duval, and then Luke Jackson comes back from paternity leave. He shoves, gets a lucky double play. We finally catch a break from the reviewed team up in New York, and it was nice to see. And then Will Smith got a 1-2-3 inning. Still doesn't make up for all the other blown saves throughout the year, and it definitely doesn't make up for Game 6 of the NLCS last year. But it was nice to see him finally getting a 1-2-3 inning. Used his fastball a lot more, which is a great thing to see, that he seemed comfortable locating and finally getting that pitch working, because he hasn't really been able to do that too much recently. The Braves definitely need to get it together because the Phillies right now are on a hot streak. Last I checked, they were down 3-2 heading into the ninth against the Mets, which, the only time I'll root for the Mets is when they play the Phillies. But overall, I would say considered the series disappointing. Will Smith closing is something that needs to change. Maybe he can still close, but just not every time. I would love to see Matzek or Minter get another chance, because they just have that stuff that, like, if they're on, no one's hitting them. The nasty combinations of sliders, fastballs, cutters with Minter, and a little bit of off speed with Matzek. It's just like when you get combinations like that, they don't come around very often. You should take advantage of them and definitely try to get those people closing. And then the other thing that I thought was great to see today was that Snitker moved Albies out of the leadoff spot. He moved Jock Peterson to the leadoff. Jock had 2 hits, I believe, today, which is great because Albies was just like struggling big time batting leadoff. I don't know the exact stats, and maybe statistically it wasn't too much worse than average. He was just going through a cold slump, but it felt like every single time 1 pitch, 2 pitch at bat, round out to the right side of the infield or the left side, depending on which side he was batting on. And it just was not pretty to watch. And then I saw this stat, so you know how they do the value bar at the bottom of the screen. We've gone like 7 of our last 11, or we've gone 7-11 over our last 18. All 11 of those losses have come from 2 runs or less. A couple Will Smith blown saves in there. Some not great outings from Toussaint and Noah. But, it's just so winnable. So many winnable games, and good teams, especially division-leading teams, are supposed to be winning those types of games. And it's just, can't really say much about it outside of it being disappointing. But a bright spot recently has been Jacob Webb. I think him coming in, since his whole mental meltdown, not covering home plate, not covering first base, hitting the Mets player in the head or in the face or whatever, since he's come back from AAA, he's looked really good. Obviously, he gave up the game-winning sac fly to former Braves ace Kevin Gausman, who he just should never be giving up a game-winning RBI to a pitcher. But he's looked good since coming back, which is amazing to see because you always want to root for the best for everyone except Lucas Sims. Don't want to root for the best for Lucas Sims. But it's been nice that he's clearly mentally recovered and has rebounded from it. And I like what I've seen from him. And it will be definitely interesting to see how he continues to pitch and whether or not he will make the postseason roster. Because obviously you have the expanded rosters. It's only 28 players, which only adding 2 players. I had a whole rant to this from my friend last week when they expanded the rosters. What's up, Tyrone?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? I've been busy, man. I've been going from show to show to show tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to touch on Will Smith real quick. Will Smith.
Go ahead.
So I didn't watch all of the San Francisco Giants game. I got the alert. I think who hit that home run? It was Duvall that hit the home run that gave us the lead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bet we're gonna win this game. So I turn the game on, and I'm cooling, I'm chilling. Just all right, Will Smith's gonna win this game. All right, first batter, okay, Will. Second batter, okay, we're good. We got 2 outs. Was it 3-2 or 1-2?
It was the 5. Wait, the Friday game, right?
Yeah, Friday game. Was it 1-2 or
it was a 3-2 count? It was full.
Yeah, 3-2 count. And he throws the same slider. He threw the same slider through that. It got him to 3-2 when he kept throwing the same slider. Mm-hmm. And the first and I knew it was gonna come. I knew he was gonna get a hit because he kept throwing it. I said, Will, change the pitch. Change the pitch. I kept saying, change the pitch, change the pitch, change the pitch. And he threw the slider again, and then you give up a home run. And it was like, okay, yeah. It comes a time where you had to be Snitker and be like, we got to get this guy out of here. Like, or you gotta switch the line. Like pitchers most teams are used to seeing Will Smith as our closer, and they're seeing what he's throwing. Literally, he throws the same pitches. Like it's just like, oh man, it's just like, bro, you gotta. He's annoying. Like it's not even a thing now. Like he's just annoying to watch throw. Like I'm just like, man, can you switch it up a little bit? Like, bro, I don't know, man. I don't. You know how I feel about Snicker. I think everybody you're in the group chat, so you know how I feel about Snicker.
Yes.
So it's just like you can't be that dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with the Atlanta kid because today you saw it. He used his fastball more than he normally did, and he was able to get out of it because his slider is not good enough. Like Luke Jackson's slider is good enough where he can throw it over and over again and not get beat. But Luke Jackson's slider does not have enough break, and I love seeing him go to the fastball more. But of Snicker and Kranitz, it's just Snicker and Kranitz just needs either Kranitz needs to be fired in my opinion because there's no development. It seems like. And then Snicker is just such a player manager. It's painful to watch.
yeah, my thing is for Snit is like you trust your players too much in my eyes, really and truly. You trust these guys like they're your kids, and you want to keep giving them opportunities. And I'm just like, bro, get these guys some other pitches. We got guys in AAA that are throwing great right now. Why don't you bring those guys in? Or try to switch up a little bit. Get Will Smith some time to just sit and get his pitches right. Like you said, it hasn't seen no development. Like I haven't seen. Yeah, I give Gwinnet's pitch. He's got a lot of these guys back right. Like you said, Jacob Webb came back and he looked good. Like
Minter came back and he looked great. Since Minter's come back, he's been phenomenal, lights out. So.
When Tukey came back, it was like, oh, he's actually looking like a starting pitcher. Like, I mean, it's gonna be this off season. It's up to AA, really and truly. It's up to AA and what AA thinks, and I trust him because he did great in the trade deadline, and he's shown. But I don't know what he's gonna do with Freddie, which I pray and hope he signs Freddie back. I don't know if Azuna, really and truly, I don't know, man. I think Azuna, he's not probably gonna come back to Atlanta, even though he could. And I think his case is probably gonna get cleared, but I don't know if he'll come back. I don't think we'll bring him back. So it's a time. It's gonna be a weird off season. Hopefully, playoffs we can straighten up. We got to win the division first, really and truly. We have to win this division. Definitely. There's no way. There's no way you can't go in as a wild card. I can't see us doing that.
And then his midseason trade acquisitions are phenomenal. Like in 2019 when he completely rebuilt the bullpen and brought in he brought in Melanson and all the other guys. And he did great at that. And then obviously this year trading Pablo Sandoval for Eddie Rosario, who hit for the cycle today, trading Alex Jackson for Adam Duvall, which is such a robbery. And then trading nobody for Jock Peterson, Bryce Ball, or whatever it was. But his offseason signings, it's just Josh Donaldson was a phenomenal signing. Marcell Ozuna 2 years ago in 2020 was great, but it's just he doesn't bring in enough in the offseason, in my opinion.
Yeah. Really and truly, it doesn't seem like and I don't want him to be like that. I don't want to see it like that, but I just want to see him. I just want to see it, man. I just want to see what he can do. I don't know. This offseason is gonna be weird, man. It's gonna be real weird. Yeah, we're such a good team. We are such a good team. I mean, you got it's Jared. Jared tweets about the Braves almost every day.
Yeah, Carabas or whatever.
Yeah, Carabas. He tweets about literally tweets about the Braves every day because we're such a good team.
Yep.
And we disappoint so much. You're disappointing fan base at this point because it's just like, bro, win. We know we can win. Like, it's not like it's a question about if we can or we can't. You can win baseball games with this offense if you play them right and if you're pitching it's straight. And it's just like I don't know, man. I hope we can fix this. I think, like we said, that pitching coach is just not. He's not it. Kranitz is not it. He's not. Yeah.
And then in the postseason, though, you can especially get by with it because you'll be starting Anderson, Morton, and Freed, 3 out of the 4 starting pitchers, because you normally only run with a 4-man rotation, and then you can have Inoa and Toussaint combine together, which I would love to see them do, or maybe you throw a bullpen game. And so in the postseason, especially, because we've seen the bullpen throw this past week, they threw like 5 games without the bullpen didn't allow a run, and so that's great to see. But the East is definitely we're not getting in as wild card. The division is our last hope.
Yeah, really and truly. I don't know, man. It's just so weird. It's really weird with this team because it's like we were. I remember we were cold starting off the season. Everybody was like, "Oh God, we're gonna be bad," and it was like And then we got the Azuna news, and it was like, "Oh Jesus," that was really scary. I think the Azuna news was like, "Yo, what are we gonna do?"
Yeah,
And
it sent a shockwave.
Yeah, we had to shuffle around the outfield, had to shuffle some guys around from AAA. Then you bring up, then we get to closer towards when they started getting hot, and we got hot when it started getting hot. And then we had Dansby. Really, we had Dansby hit that game, the walk off that one game, and it was like, oh, we're gonna be. I forgot what game was it. Washington we played
the big comeback, right?
Yeah, it was the big comeback game.
And I think that was Washington.
I think it was, because it was like bases loaded, and then he hit a walk off single. So it was like, okay, so we're gonna be back. Like we're gonna be back, and then it was just like, man, like it's been so up and down this year. It's been painful. It's been painful. Like it's bad when you have Atlanta fans. They've been like Braves fans since the '90s talking about we're not having fun. Like that's when you know it's something serious, bro. I'm just like, it's, and I'm like, I'm not like everybody knows. I'm not like the biggest. I don't follow the Braves heavy, but this year I've really been into it, and this has been the year. One year I really like. It's the same thing with the Dream this year. I got really into them, and they just been disappointing me. I'm just like, the Braves have such a long season. It's the same thing with like the Hawks. Like the Hawks also, it's such a long season. You know, you'll get it right, but the Braves just have been like shaky so much, like so much.
It's so hard to rebound because after Ozuna got arrested, or whatever the proper term is for that, we were bringing out an outfield of Acuna, phenomenal, until he tore his ACL, unfortunately. But then we had like Ender Inciarte and Abraham Almonte starting in the outfield for 2 months of the season. It's so hard to be a quality team when that's 2/3 of your outfield for a third of the season.
Yeah, really and truly. I really just wish that I want to see it, man. Like Blake is saying, be so good this year. We really were. I thought we were gonna be like, I thought we were gonna go like win 90 games or something this year, and it just was like, bro, what happened? And like his name, like when he said Rondo, Ozzie, Freddie, Ozuna, Darnold, Riley, and Dansby, and Pache, his defense is lovely, but he can't hit the ball. That's the worst part about him. Like he just can't hit the ball, and I'm mad. And then you see what's the one who went to San Diego? Melcon, Melanson, yes. He goes to San Diego and he's the best pitcher, the best closer in baseball this year. And it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know AA doesn't have the money and Liberty Media, but bro, I know y'all gonna call me crazy. I'd rather had him back than Ozuna because we didn't have the DH this year.
Yeah, the DH wasn't here, and that was a whole big reason Ozuna was so successful last year, because you don't have to worry about feeling. You can keep your legs fresh, keep your bat hot, and be impactful. But defensively, he's just not it, and it clearly impacted his bat having to run in the outfield for the whole game. Yeah. And then, the catching situation when Darno went down was brutal as well, because until Kevon Smith hit those 2 home runs in that one game, there was no production whatsoever. Yeah, and then he got injured. So
I mean, when we lost Darno and Yon and Uzgar Yon, it was just like, bro, what are we doing? Like, what is the training staff doing? Like, I was like, what is the training staff doing? Like, and then it was like both of them broke their hand. It was just like, because then we found out, punched the wall, and I was like, that's probably something he got mad. or he punched the bench and broke his hand. Then I don't know. I forgot. We said there are no tore ligament in his thumb. And I'm just like, oh God. It was just like Jesus.
And then the whole reason Ozuna was even home to be in a domestic violence situation with his wife is because when he slid into third base, he like effed up two of his fingers or whatever.
Yeah, he broke his hand or something.
Which is like so weird that would happen sliding, because I haven't seen that like ever happen. Rarely.
I've seen people mess their hands up sliding, but it's never been like you broke two fingers from sliding. I've seen they have. That's why but people wear the mitt. That's why you're supposed to wear the mitt, because if you slide head first, you want to have a mitt on at least on one hand. And of course, he breaks his hand and he gets home and they get into the mitt. Mind you, last year they had the same thing happen, and we didn't really get a lot. It wasn't that big of a deal because remember his wife started it last year.
Yeah,
and so now we really don't know. That's the crazy part is now they're taking the charges away from him. So I don't know what's gonna happen. So
yeah,
I don't
his
know.
leave of absence got extended like a week though. I saw that, but
Yeah,
at this point, I don't want him on the Braves anymore. I'm fine with him.
Yeah, unless he's coming back, and I don't even think he's gonna come back and be productive. Like that's the crazy part about. Yeah, that was depressing. That was
walking
so
into
depressing.
the stadium and you tear your Achilles again. That's just.
I was like, what was he doing? That was my thing. Like, what was he doing?
I mean, everything has to go wrong though, because you're walking into a stadium and you tear your Achilles again. Like, either we rushed him back, which I totally think is a possibility. There's no reason he should have been pitching starts in spring training, and then the doctor must have done something wrong in the surgery. I don't know how those surgeries work, but something bad had to happen.
Yeah, like he was walking. He was just walking down, walking down the street. He's walking into the stadium. Oh, my Achilles is torn. What? Like it was just like, huh? Well, now he's gonna be in the booth, and I'm just like, man. I was like, man, it's gonna be weird to have him in the booth, and he's supposed to be your ace. And
Exactly.
I think, and I really think Ian's gonna take his spot as our ace, because Ian has showed a lot this year. He might is he up for rookie of the year this year or something like that? I know.
Yeah, he's eligible. He didn't reach the required innings. Last
He's gonna be like a Ben
season.
Simmons. He's gonna be like Ben Simmons type of guy.
Except it's baseball, so people don't care about that.
Yeah, and I think he can make a strong case. I mean, we have an MVP candidate. And it's so weird because we went so long without having an MVP, and then 2 years back to back, you have two MVP candidates. And it's like, man, like it's the same thing like you said about the cycle. We went so for long without having a cycle, and now we've had two in almost 2 months. Like, it's really weird with how good this Braves team is, and we can't win. And it's really just the bullpen. Like we've given up so much. It's so annoying. And I don't know why Matzik, and I know Matzik is not a closer, but throw him out. I want to see him, try to throw something, man. Like I was just like, oh man, I don't know if he can come in. I know he always uses like our eighth. He's like our setup man, and then you have Will Smith as the closer. But like, man, you got to throw some rotations out there that confuse some people. Because Matzik as a closer is ridiculous. I don't think I'll ever see that, and him as a closer. So
yeah, but there's potential for him to be a good one though, and that makes no sense.
It's really like, man, I think Ronald will be back next year. I think Ronald that ACL. I watched that, and that made my season horrible. I don't know if you watched it live.
I
was watching it live, and as soon as he landed and he was grabbing his knee, I said, "Oh God!" I was just like, "Jesus, let it be a buckle." Then you saw the full impact. You were like, "Oh yeah," you knew what it was. It just looked like it. It was just like Jesus, and he couldn't walk on it, and he was like limping around. He's already working out though, so. Yeah. Like I mean, the same thing with AJ McCarron. AJ McCarron is in day 9, and he's like on a balance board walking around and everything. I'm just like, I was like, ACL injuries they've gotten a lot. I think the surgery's gotten a lot better. I think you can recover faster from it because of the surgery. So, but Mike is gonna be weird.
Yeah, it's weird. The ACL is like how far they've come, because I read Chipper Jones' autobiography, and he talks about when he tore his ACL in the '94 spring training, and he talks about how much extended of a process it was, and it took him like all 12 months to come back, and he wasn't even 100% then. And then like nowadays you've got people coming back, like an Olympic sprinter or something came back from a torn Achilles in like 5 months or something. It was wild. So it's
Yeah,
crazy to see.
surgeries are really faster now. So it's just like, man, I really want to see. I don't like Soroka, like Soroka. Yeah, everybody's saying 2023. I think like you said, we can't rush him back. You can't rush him back. So
Can't. Not anymore.
no,
To
yeah,
Achilles.
he's torn it twice, the same Achilles twice. Like you can't do that.
And then the Phillies Mets game just went final. The Mets won, so that's a 2-game lead.
There we
And
go.
14 is our magic number, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
Let me see. I'll go look at it real quick. I think it's 14. It's something close to that. But we need it. We need to keep this 2 point. We need to keep this 2-game lead. We need to really extend it.
Yes,
Really
for
and
sure.
truly.
And then, but I think it was David O'Brien tweeted out like last week at the Braves, the three most recent times that they clinched the division in a 162 game season, every single time it's been on game 155. So there's still potential. There's 14
Yeah.
games left. You just have to win 7 of them, and the Phillies have to lose 7. It could happen.
Hey, you never know with Philly. It's really you really never know with Philly. And
They go from being the best team to not being able to beat the Diamondbacks and Rockies. So who
yeah,
knows?
so I mean and it's weird. They just lost to the Cubs, and the Cubs sold everybody. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're just a really shaky. But baseball's a shaky sport. That's the thing about that. You just never know who's hot and who's not. Like, yeah, Joe C came back crazy. I don't know if anybody's been watching. He had I think he's had 4 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
Like
United's been dominating.
yeah, he's United's a bright spot in Atlanta. They have been the bright spot in Georgia, but you're a Florida fan, but we're not going to talk about that.
Hey, we played Bama close. That's all I care about.
That's the moral victory. Everybody in Georgia's been like, "Hey man, that moral victory must really hit." I was just like, "Bro,
hey, that Clemson win ain't looking so sweet though."
it's not. It's not looking good at all because they're just killing us. Clemson looks horrible, but yeah. Like said, he watched it. He knew it was bad. I did too, bro. When I saw that knee buckle that hard and he came down, and then they gave him. I was like, bro. When they gave him the run, I was just like, I don't even care. I was like, I care more about Acuna than anything. Like, it was like he ran any infield. And then I remember when Miami posted it.
Oh no, the Marlins Twitter account.
Yeah, with the Marlins, I said, bro, you gotta get. Then he did get fired because they had a post talking about we need a new media head or something.
Yeah, someone was on LinkedIn or whatever.
And they were asking for a new media
head. For a social media manager.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the funny part about that. That's hilarious.
Watching that though, it was just slow motion. I see him jumping. I'm like, don't F up this landing. Don't do it. And it's just, it all goes bad. So
yeah, I was like, please don't land on that leg. I think everybody's like, please don't land on that leg, please. Then he came down. It was just like, oh, when they replayed it, I was like, oh Jesus. I was like, yeah, it's the season's over, man. I was like, yeah, this is the ending of him. And I was like, and then when he got up, it was the worst part is when I started crying. I literally cried because he started crying when he tried to walk. And he was crying off the field crying. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm really about to be depressed. I think the rest of that day, everybody in the Braves family was just like, this is, oh man. It was just like, I don't even know how you get back to something like that. Like you can't come back from that as a fan base. Like it's like when imagine Tatis would have torn his ACL this year or Machado in San Diego. It would have been the same thing I did with them.
Yep.
And it's the same thing, and the MLB lost a lot of money because Acuna is a bright spot. Bright spot for baseball.
On their new generation post they had the other day, they had they were celebrating Roberto Clemente, I think, and they had the past Latino people, and then the present ones. Acuna was front and center on it, and it's he truly is the face of new age baseball.
Yeah, and he
hurts.
And Tatis is gonna and they've been pushing Tatis a lot because Acuna's been hurt so bad, and I think they have to push Tatis. And then you see Tatis and Machado arguing in the bullpen.
That was not a good look.
That was horrible. I was like, bro, what are they arguing? I didn't even know what they were arguing about. I was like, bro, what is this about? So I think that's the whole thing. I think that's the only thing that's really the problem is that you're gonna have to really when you and it's the same thing with baseball. We lost a lot when Acuna went down. We lost a lot of energy. And I love when we started winning, people's like, oh, well, you might not need Acuna. I'm just like, y'all shut up. Please be quiet. Like,
when Chip Carey says, like, whenever he brings up the offseason or the trade deadline acquisitions, he's like, you can't ever replace Acuna, but you can fill in for him. It's like, no, you can't come close to what he was bringing as a one player basis.
Yeah, really and truly. I want to. What he's? I got you. When Acuna comes back next year, who in the outfield core is coming back next season? Hopefully they keep Soler and Duvall. I think Jock slides out.
Yeah, I think Jock leaves. Duvall has like a 5.7 mil player or team mutual option. I don't know how options work in the MLB. It's weird. There's like a mutual option. And then I would love to see Soler comes back. He's had like a 13-game hitting streak or whatever. Duvall's on like a 15-game hitting streak right now. So,
and Duvall is meant for Atlanta, man. Let's be honest.
He breaks here.
He's meant for Atlanta, bro. Like he does not need to be anywhere else except in Atlanta.
Exactly.
And I understand everybody's like, well, AAA and this and that, and the guys we have down there, like Drew Waters is still down there, Michael Harrison, Pache. So we'll see. And I think when we get to spring training next year, we'll get to see those guys. I think we're going to see a lot of Michael and Drew and Pache in the outfield. I really want to see those three because those are your future. Yeah. That's your future right there. So
unfortunately that we've seen what rushing players can do. Though Pache was clearly rushed up, and he got 2 hits in his first MLB season, and then batted like 140 or whatever before he got sent down to AAA. So he's got to be careful though. Even though he's hitting phenomenal in AAA right now, because
I think that's the only. It's really it's going to take a little. It just takes time. Like we always say, it's going to take time for those young guys. And mind you, the guys we drafted, the pitcher we got, he wants to be a starter, and he's going to take some years to get up here. Yeah. But he's not bad. I mean, like, we drafted good this year. I mean, everything this year was just perfect, except when Acuna, everybody kept getting hurt. That was the worst part about this season, the injuries. That was horrible, man. That was really that was the worst, absolute worst injury. Like, it just sucked. Remember Freddie got a cold, and he was like, we had to let him rest for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember. And when he was breathing, I was like, please don't let it be COVID, because he was like grabbing his chest. I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like, you could tell he couldn't breathe. And I was like, oh, God. And then, you get Freddie's was gone for a little bit. And then the only really solid player we've had out of I'll call our big three is Ozzy, Acuna, and Freddie. It's Ozzy. Ozzy's been the healthiest this year. I don't think and he's the smallest, which is funny. I always think he's going to be the one to get hurt the most. And he's always the one that's just sitting there just chilling. Like, every year he's not. And we got to, and this money-wise, these contracts we're going to have to give these guys are, Acuna is very cheap for what he's really done.
He signed whatever, 8 years, 108 mil. That's nothing. He signed whatever, a 13-year, $360 million deal.
Yeah. And then Machado signs a 10-year, $300 million deal or something like that. So it's liberty, and I always say, we as a fan base, we need to find somebody that really wants to buy the Braves, and let them buy it, and help them buy it. Like, some way we got to start a fund, GoFundMe, something that somebody needs to come and buy the. It just takes some time. It's gonna take getting Liberty Media out of there and somebody that wants to spend money to make this team really want to spend money. We have too many fans in Atlanta and too many real baseball. Even if they're not baseball fans, they're still they wear the 8 hats, and Trey can buy a part of the Braves. All of these guys in Atlanta, they really want to. They can buy a part. Look at Giannis and Aaron Rodgers in Milwaukee.
Exactly.
It's going to take some time. I think you go ahead.
Oh, I would love to see Trey buy part of the Falcon or the not the Falcons, the Braves. That would be such a cool thing.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, he's the face of Atlanta at this point. He needs to. He's going to, and he's embracing it. I do enjoy that he's embracing that. He knows this is his city.
He loves Atlanta. You can tell
Yeah,
he always is rocking like Atlanta Hawks gear or like a Braves hat or talking about how good of a city it is.
he's always going to like. I mean, most people go to summer league, but I mean, he was at like every summer league game. Like he's always involved with this team, and you gotta love it. Like we had the. And it's so weird because like Trey is treated so special now. I remember when Trey got in the league, everybody was disrespecting him. Oh, he's not going to be like now. We had. I want. This is getting off topic, but Indiana, we play Indiana in the summer league game, one game, and they had Miles Turner live doing his interview. Right? You know, they had him on the headset, and they had Rick Carlisle come on. So we get to the next Atlanta home, like their home summer league game. And this man has a sit-down interview with Malika Andrews, and they're playing it at halftime, and then Nate McMillan's on the headset. And Trey's sitting right at the game. Mind you, Miles Turner got to go on a headset and do his interview. They got Trey with a full cinema interview and everything. Like, bro, it's a different type of this is a different type of treatment he's gonna get. He's gonna be a perennial all-star. Like, I mean, this year he should have been one, and he didn't get it, and they regretting it more and more. So
he made sure their disrespect was very noted.
Yeah, and I mean, it was so funny. His dad, I ended up getting blocked by his dad because I tweeted it, but his dad tweeted out, "Y'all gonna stop playing with my daddy's son," and I was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "Yeah, that's when you knew his dad was hot about it because it was like, bro, you know what Trey's did this year, like, and for him to take us to the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah, like he deserved to be an All-Star. So next year, don't be surprised. It's gonna be a time and point where Trae Young's a captain. Imagine that.
Exactly.
That's going to be crazy.
Because captain is so much fan voting. People are like, now that they've watched him on a playoff national television scene, they're kind of getting that foul baiting out of their head, and they love that he's embracing this villain role because the NBA needs a good villain. It's better when there's a good villain, and the way he's embracing it, the fans are loving it. And then, like the WWE, when they brought him out, they were like, "Oh, we need a man who knows how to win at MSG." So that's why I thought Trae Young.
Disrespectful that was so right. Like, and the thing is, we did a show on it. Vince McMahon doesn't bring in stars like that. Like,
exactly.
He's brought in he brought in Mike Tyson was one. He brought in Floyd Mayweather. What's the big white guy? Tyson Fury.
Yeah. He brought in one of the Paul brothers. I know that.
One of the Paul brothers. He brought in all the Ball boys.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he brought in what's his name? Jesus, who fought Brock Lesnar? The one that cut his eye open.
I don't know
my God, Ortiz. Was it Ortiz or something like that? He brought him in, but he brings in storylines. And Trae Young, just when you have a storyline like that at MSG, you got to bring in him. You had to bring in Trae, and Trae's was the one you had to, which I respect. Like I'm saying, like he did the right. I mean, he's our face. And Acuna and Joseph and the guys we got in these other sports. And I'll start throwing in pits when, like, we have literally every major sport in Atlanta has a star.
Yeah, so much young talent.
Yeah, so much young talent. And in Atlanta, we got Miles Robinson and Bello on the USA team. Like, bro, like the team, like Atlanta is just so young and vibrant. It just takes time. Like these guys, it wouldn't be a time. I won't be surprised when Atlanta starts winning a lot. Like, and it's gonna be the city's gonna be lit when we do. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, and then the Braves fan base, like Ayers said here, it's huge because obviously you have the TBS days from when Ted Turner owned it, and it was on TBS across the nation, and then you have all across the South because there's no Alabama team, there's no Carolina team. The Marlins are terrible and weren't founded until whatever 1990, and so you have this huge fan base. And there's so much capital that you can take advantage of that Liberty Media just doesn't, and it makes me upset.
Yeah, we literally own the South as a fan base. I mean, as a team, we own the South. There's people in every other state in the South wearing Atlanta Braves hats.
Exactly.
And we don't take advantage of that revenue. Like I know it's a lot of revenue that comes in from that. Like, bro, that's licensed gear. Only other person that has the A is Alabama. So like, and I was in Pittsburgh. I like Plumber's in Pittsburgh. I was like, is that an Alabama hat? I was like, no, it's a Braves hat. He's like, oh yeah, I had to look at the A and figure out which one it was. Like, that's the only difference. Like, bro, it's really like the funny part about it is just like people don't understand Atlanta. I mean, the Braves literally are the South's team.
Exactly.
Like, the only reason you have Yankees fans down here a lot, and especially in Florida, Tampa Bay, Yankees training field is in Tampa Bay, and they were in Tampa Bay longer. Like they literally they don't even promote their own stadium in Tampa. Like for their
They don't.
baseball, like if you drive through Tampa, you see Yankee Stadium. You don't even see I'm like, where's the football? I was like, where's the baseball stadium at? Like it's just Yankee stuff everywhere. So and the Lightning. So I mean it's just really weird. It's really weird. Like you have to like take advantage of this stuff. You have.
I know there's not that many people in Louisiana wearing an Alabama hats. The majority of those got to be Braves hats.
Yes.
They hate Alabama down there.
Yeah. So I'm saying like, and they don't even care. And like they're closer to Texas, and they don't even care about the Rangers. They don't even care about the Rangers. So Lamar Jackson might actually beat his rival, the Kansas City Chiefs, tonight, which would be surprising. But
nice to see.
I would hope he does. It's been how many years since he's lost it? 3 years in a row he's lost. So I think I really want to just touch on, well, we're gonna go into the Diamondback series. Yeah. So I think we should. Is it 2 games or 3 games?
It's 4 games actually.
Oh Jesus! In Arizona, I gotta be
in Arizona. It's a lot of late nights.
Yeah, it's like when the Braves were on their. When the Hawks were on their West Coast trip.
Oh my gosh, I was staying up so late.
Bro, I had shows every night. I was up at 11 o'clock every night. Then we go play the Padres. So you got to take advantage of this Diamondback series.
Exactly, because the Phillies are going to be playing the Orioles at the same time. So you have to be winning these games. And we saw the Diamondbacks absolutely destroy us earlier in the season because Bumgarner had his 7-inning no-hitter. But I do like the pitchers we have lined up. Obviously, we won't have Fried pitching, but the projected pitchers already know Toussaint is most likely, but there could be a change there if they bring up Kyle Wright because he's been shoving in AAA.
Man. He's been balling.
Yeah. And then Kyle Anderson and Morton. So I like all the pitching matchups. We only have to face Bumgarner as the only like real notable pitcher. So you just make sure you don't take them lightly because the Phillies took them lightly, and the Phillies either just got swept or got 2 out of 3 taken from them. So just don't take them lightly.
That's the only thing with teams like that. It's like you can't take them lightly, really and truly, because if you do, that messes you up literally and truly. That messes your squad up. And when you take certain teams lightly, you got to go in Arizona. We've already had the series with Arizona where we got a no-hitter thrown on us, and I don't want that to happen again. So you got to go in and really set something up.
Really, teams like the Diamondbacks right now, they're not playing for playoffs. They're playing to take someone else out of the playoffs. They want you to be eliminated as well as them.
They're playing spoiler, really and truly. Like it's the same thing last year when we played Houston and Minnesota and all those teams. Like they're just playing spoiler. They want to win these big games because they just want to take your contention out.
Exactly.
So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a fun 4-game series. It's just, man, I hope. I just really want us to win these. I just need us to. I need us to. Like we can't.
Yeah. You need to at least take 2 and split the series. Ideally, you win 3, but the offense just needs to wake up, plain and simple. I hope the Duvall and Rosario home runs was like a glimpse of that, maybe.
Yeah.
But the offense needs to step up because they had a combined like 20 hits or whatever in the Giants series over 3 games, which is not great for an offense that has such a high capability.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, so Luke Weaver's pitching the first game for them.
That name means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I know nothing about the Diamondbacks.
He's 3 of 5. He's 3 of 5. He has a 4.4 ERA. Yeah, I mean he has 48 hits and 49 strikeouts, and 8 home runs. So
you better be raking.
You got to take advantage of that, man. You have to. There's only one. You got to take advantage. Like our last 5 is horrible. really and truly. Like it's LLL, and then we got the one win. Like
Yeah,
we
the week
lose to
was bad.
Colorado, which I thought we were gonna come in Colorado and just spank them, and then we lose in Colorado, where you can hit a home run all the way out to the little or nowhere. But this is gonna be a series. You got 4 games. You gotta, and you're gonna have to show out. Like you're gonna have to rate. You're gonna have to. Like you can't go into those 4 games and be like, we'll take it easy. We'll take it light. Nah, these 4 games are important, really and truly.
Yeah. Maybe you give a day off to Albies or Swanson sometime. One of the infielders that's like struggling right now in the middle infielders because Arcia is called up because of the expanded roster. But outside of that, you have to run with your best 9. It's so weird saying best 9 to like best 5 or best 11.
Yeah.
But I like Snicker taking Albies out of the leadoff spot. I touched on that earlier, but
He needs to. I was listening. Yeah, he needed to do that. Like that was needed. Like that. We all know that. Like I think everybody should have known that.
he just didn't look comfortable there. But I
Mhm.
like Jock. Rosario's been raking recently. I want Rosario starting all 4 games because from what I've seen, him and Soler both are not like negative outfielders by any means. They seem to like hold their own and at least be average. So I wouldn't mind seeing them start every game and then
I would
maybe
love to see a Rosario Acuna Soler outfield. I want to
it's a
see
lot
that.
of power.
That's a lot of just raking in that. Like those are all 3 home run hitters.
And then you could DH Duval
Yeah.
or have him
Oh
in over
man.
Soler or Rosario some nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Offense.
And then you have, like I'm saying, like you're saying, we have Duval off the bench. If we don't even get the DH, you still have him off the bench. Like
Exactly.
if you need a pinch hitter, you bring in Adam Duval who hits home runs off everybody. Yeah, like that's unfair. Like it just takes who's gonna manage. If Snit's gonna manage this team right, he has to, man. That's really the only thing I have to see, man. If he manages this team's right, we win. And we go. I think playoff baseball. We're meant for playoff baseball. It's just, man. I don't know, man.
The one thing that worries me about playoff baseball, so much of it is ABC. You get a double, you hit him over, then you drive him in with a sac fly or whatever, and we just don't do that at all. And it makes me upset because like extras, it's so simple to
Yeah,
just hit a guy over. I shouldn't say simple because the best hitters hit 1 out of 3 every time, but it's just it's more we make it more difficult than it needs to be, and that's something that a manager or heading coach needs to talk to them and be like, hey, don't swing for the fences all the time. And
yeah.
Francoeur and Glavin always get onto them about not overreaching and stuff. So who knows?
Wow, Baltimore's about to win this game. He fumbled the ball. That's crazy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the ball.
Oh
That's
no. I think I'm playing against him in fantasy this week.
yeah. I didn't even check fantasy this week. I know Matt Ryan should have carried me. He had 300 yards, man. I know those 3 picks are gonna kill me, but that 300 yards was probably perfect for me. But man, I know. But yeah, I think this is just gonna be what we need. We just need this. We need these wins. That's all it is, man. I think that's what we got to. You just got to win. We got to win at least 2. We got to win this series.
Me too.
You got to go 3. If you lose 1, drop the first one. I'll let you drop the first one, but don't drop the next 3 because
Yeah.
that'll just make me mad, really and truly.
Drop the one that Toussaint already know is pitching. Do not waste quality starts from Anderson or Morton because then you're playing with fire so much there because you can't waste quality starts like you did this past series and in previous series.
Man, yeah. My fantasy team just disappointed me. Jesus, I got Jarvis Landry giving me 1 point, and I had Thielen on the bench giving me 15.
Oh,
And I didn't lose that bad. I only lost by like 16. But if you want to wrap it up, you can. If this all we want to talk about.
yeah, I think that's good. Any Colin Tyrone's coming soon?
Call on Tyrone Friday nights and Saturday nights. If you are a college football fan, come on. Starting to bring on some guests. Got some good guys coming on hopefully this week with Oklahoma and West Virginia. Hopefully I get some guys on for that. Yeah, it should be a good game. Just trying to see. I'm just trying to get more and more people on. And man, just watch the show. If you're in here, you know, if you're most people, if you watch sport, if you're all around sports fan, just hit us up. Just come watch the channel. We talk everything Atlanta. Ariel has a show, I think Tuesday afternoon. I think he's doing his show Tuesday afternoon. So I mean, man, y'all just get into it. I mean, we brought in Ben. Thank you, Ben. I want to thank Ben personally for
No
coming
problem.
on and covering our Braves for us.
Always love talking Braves.
Always, man. Just thank you guys for coming in and listening to him. He will be doing this more often,
For
so we'll
sure.
get a lot more Braves talk.
Already thinking about Thursday's show because the Braves are played at 3:40. They get that businessman special, so
Oh yeah,
we'll be able to do a show Thursday, which will be
yeah. So
nice.
definitely come in. And we get to talk about these guys a lot. And we're getting into October. That's what you really want to watch baseball. So
For
thank you
sure.
guys for coming in and watching.
Yep. And hopefully next time we're talking, the Braves have swept a series. Hopefully we're gone 4-0 against the Diamondbacks.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.